This is the 7th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Well, thank you, Chairman Latta, and thanks to you and Ranking Member Castor. And thank you to all of our witnesses for being here today for this timely hearing. I'm going to follow up on some of the questions that my colleague from Florida just asked about some of these challenges to homeownership and some of the rising costs, because I think, we can all agree that as we sit here today, the American dream is becoming less and less attainable, and that dream of home ownership, one of the building blocks of a good life and of pursuing the American dream, having that financial security, they're out of reach for too many Americans, and that number is going up and not down. I know that in my hometown of Houston, which is known to be a place where the housing is plentiful and affordable, purchasing a home costs almost 5 times the median income, and that's nearly double what it was in Houston just 15 years ago. Inflation is making necessities more expensive, and total U.S. household debt hit a record high in the second quarter of this year, so just a couple months ago. And I think that we've talked in this committee a bit about permitting delays and red tape and some of the other things that have restricted construction of new homes and created bottlenecks in our energy supply as well, just really driving up costs for both. And today, I think most of what I've heard from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle has focused on their complaints about policies from the Biden administration, but we really haven't heard a word from them about what is driving up these prices right now, and that is President Trump's chaotic economic policy, which favors his inner circle and his billionaire buddies and leaves Americans behind. And we know, for example, that when it comes to home building, President Trump's tariffs are going to increase the cost of building a home by more than $10,000. That's the estimate I've seen, Mr. Hughes. There may be others out there, but we know that I'm hearing from contractors in my district that the cost of materials is going up. Everything, from drywall to carpet to so much more. And appliances can be included in that, but we're focused just on appliances in this hearing. The costs of everything it takes to build a home are going up. And so, I think it's really important to focus on that and also understand that the policies that this Congress enacted in that big ugly bill are estimated to raise electricity prices by 61%. That's just an astonishing number. And so the cost of inputs of building are going up, the costs of maintaining and living in our homes are going up. And so one of the things that we know is that these energy efficiency standards have really been important to keeping costs low for Americans. And of course, maintaining consumer choice and ensuring that these standards are attainable is really important. We're all consumers. I think we all support and agree with that. But I think what we're seeing is that this Congress giving the Trump administration a blank check to just slash and burn as it pleases is moving us in the wrong direction. And in less than a year, President Trump has attacked nearly every facet of the federal government that keeps costs down for Americans in need, and including firing all the civil servants that administer the program to keep energy prices down for our constituents, the LIHEAP program, Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. So I know that we have limited time here, so I'm just going to mention, of course, there are tens of thousands of households in Texas that rely on that LIHEAP program to keep our costs down, certainly with air conditioning in the summer and heating in the winter. We have seen in Texas that unfortunately we have extreme weather events at all times of the year. And I've mentioned before in this committee, but I think it bears repeating with these witnesses as we think about insulation, energy efficiency, building our homes. It was just a couple years ago, less than 5 years ago, when we had the winter freeze and the winter storm in Texas, and a little boy not far from where I live froze to death inside his own home. So we are talking about life and death issues for our constituents here when we talk about the importance of these investments in terms of making energy affordable. So I'm going to run out of time to ask my question. I know I'm going to get in trouble from the chairman. So, Ms. Rinaldi, I'm going to ask you a question for the record. If you can, in your written testimony, respond about what kind of cost savings Americans can expect from weatherization upgrades, especially in states like Texas with increasingly hot summers and cold winters, and also how low-income Americans will be impacted by cuts to efficiency standards and assistance programs like LIHEAP. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you very much. The gentlelady.